Shoot your arrows! Cooper Kupp plucks it out of the air and gives the Rams the lead. Robert Woods, touchdown! LA! Dog goes crashing into the end zone. Aaron Donald almost beat the football there. Corey Littleton, have yourself a day. Picked off. Marcus Peters coming off the edge. And Ryan will be wrapped up by Clay Matthews. Everett in stride! Wow!
Franklin Myers gets his hand down there.
Weddle got a hand on it. Did he pick it? He did!
Racing down the sideline is Akeem Talib. Gurley for MVP! Touchdown LA!
Picked off by John Johnson.
Well, Dante Fowler, who is able to get to breathe. Greg Zuerlein sends the Rams to the Super Bowl! LA will play for the Lombardi!
Welcome back, guys, to another Downtown Rams podcast. It's episode 203. I'm your host, Jake Ellenbogen. Joining me is Alexis Kraft. Draft season podcast underway, so we have two defensive linemen coming on. We have Tito Odenigbo from Miami, and we have Boogie Roberts from San Jose State. So we hope you guys enjoy. Of course, before we get into that, just a reminder, if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and leave a review whichever platform you get your podcast. So thanks so much, guys, and enjoy the show. All right, joining the show, we have Tito Odenigbo, defensive lineman, Miami. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
It's going pretty good. How are you guys doing?
We're great. We're excited to talk to you. And, just to start it off, we just kind of want to know a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
I started playing football about sixth grade. Actually, me and my brother started at the same time. And my parents were really a big football family. We were kind of a big track and soccer family. So they really didn't understand the game and kind of confused and kind of scared of the violence. So we had to come up with a 3-page essay to convince our parents to play football in sixth grade. And they allowed us, and now I'm here today.
Well, it's a good thing that you put one foot forward and got that thing going, because you have a future in this game. But just really quickly though, when you're growing up, who would you say was your favorite NFL player?
Favorite NFL player was probably Larry Fitzgerald. My brother was actually locker room mates with him. I'm at the Cardinals, and I just like how he carried himself off the field. He did a lot of things for the community. He also does a great job of traveling the world, and I feel like he just has a good insight of how to be an athlete and how to be a great person. So as a child, I love Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's definitely a great guy and an awesome player. So definitely a good pick there. And you played for 4 years at the University of Illinois, and then you were a grad transfer to the University of Miami. So what was the main factor for you in choosing Miami to play at once you graduated from Illinois? And then I guess also what was kind of the original factor for you in choosing Illinois as well?
Well, my dad went to the University of Illinois to get his master's, and I was born in Decatur, Illinois. So I grew up an Illinois fan growing up. So when Illinois offered me out of high school, it was kind of a no-brainer to commit on the spot. And we had a couple of coaching changes in Illinois that didn't really fit the defensive scheme that I wanted to play or that I kind of signed up to play in with the original coaching staff. And Miami offered that full-heartedly. I think Miami gave me a chance to be successful on and off the field. And how Coach Diaz, the defense coordinator, now the head coach, runs his team and how he ran his defense, I thought I could thrive pretty well in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Seeing Diaz become the head coach, definitely something cool there. What was it like to play with guys, like Gerald Willis and, Joe Jackson and Michael guys like that?
They're awesome guys. I mean, the one thing with our defense that we played in compared to all those guys, but many more, is we're all very competitive and physical, which is very basic to say, but the physicality and how much we compete every day in practice and what everyone brought to the table, what Joe, G, and Michael Jackson brought to the table, is something that made me go even harder because I saw how intense they were, and you always play to the standard of your teammates. So they just bring the same intensity that every Miami player brings to anywhere they go. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely can agree with that statement. Just watching the Miami defense this past season, you guys really had something special there, and you definitely had a great group of guys on that defense for sure. And I know it's probably hard to pick, but do you have a favorite memory or maybe a favorite play from your time playing college football?
Probably have to be a Florida State game. I think I had like a big TFL the fourth quarter to cause it a third down and long, and that kind of felt me being baptized for the team, or me falling, not being part of the team, but like me realizing that I'm now playing for the Miami Hurricanes, and that was probably the highlight of like that season. My personal highlight for the season. I have a lot of team highlights is coming with random talent with everyday practice and whatnot.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, man. It's pretty awesome that you were able to, do what you want to do, and you graduate and then you get to play at Miami. Since you played at two different schools and you played in, two separate, conferences, I mean, who was the toughest guy you went up against in college?
Toughest guy? That's a really good question. Ones that I can remember, if I can be completely honest, I wasn't the best player in my first couple years at Illinois, so every O-line seemed like the toughest O-line, but one guy that stood out to me was Chris Lindstrom, the offensive guard for Boston College. He is probably one of the I'm pretty strong guy. He's one of the guys that I had difficult moving or difficult doing what I usually do to make plays, so he's the one that stuck out with me the most. And I'm training with him during the offseason, during this past draft offseason right now. So I know he's a hard worker, but before the season started, before I even met him, he was probably definitely the hardest O-line man I went against.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's being discussed as one of possibly the best guards in the draft. So, definitely great pick there. Definitely, a guy who seems like he would be tough to go against for sure. But then I'm also just curious, in your own words, what is your biggest strength as a player?
Biggest strength as a player, I think I have very fine technique. I'm very powerful, very low to the ground, and that just comes with very good D-line coaches I've had over the years. My D-line coach for 4 years at Illinois is a D-line coach for the Colts right now, and my D-line coach for Miami, you guys know, Jess Simpson, is now the D-line coach for the Falcons. So I just got very lucky with very great coaching. So with that, they have installed day after day their fundamental techniques into me, and that's pretty much my biggest strength.
Yeah, we talk about your biggest strength, but obviously as you entered the league, I mean, what's like the one area that you're really trying to, improve on in your game?
Improve on is consistent pass rushing. I feel like I'm not a bad pass rusher, but I'm not I'm very, very excellent at run blocking, but run defense for my pass blocking needs to get on par with that if I want to make a big impact in the league. So that's the number thing I've been working on now and coming up to the draft is my pass rushing. But other than that, if I get that down, because I feel like I'll have a good success in the NFL.
Yeah, and this next question is just kind of a fun question that we like to ask. But is there one quarterback that you most want to sack in the NFL?
Kind of a trap question, I'm not gonna lie, but not really, to be honest. Maybe Clayton Dortmund, the QB for Northwestern. He's in the draft right now, but my brother and him are old teammates. He's kind of a little friend I have. So if wherever team he's on, it'll be fun to sack him. But currently, anyone in the league, I feel like that's not a good question to answer, so I'm just going to avoid that.
Well, the answer that we always get, I'll tell you, 99.9% of the time is Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah, I figured it was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
To some things right now, I feel like saying Tom Brady would not be good in my favor for the draft.
Yeah, it's cool that you mentioned Clayton Thorson, who's actually in the draft. I assume you'd want to sack him, like one of those kind of, oh yeah, you just kind of put him down type of thing, not like throw him 5 yards across the field because you're friends. But, but with that being said, have to ask you, we are a Rams-based podcast. Have the Rams met with you or spoken with you at all throughout this process?
The Rams have not spoken to me. They have talked to me. They talked to me on my pro day, but I have not really seen any contact with the Rams whatsoever. But that being said, the Rams have a great team, of course, coming back from the Super Bowl. Their defense matches the same defense that I ran in Miami. They have probably the best D tackle in the last 10 years with Aaron Donald. So if I end up being on the Rams, I'll be very honored because that's a very, very well-run organization.
Oh, yeah. Well, we certainly like to hear that. And we like to hear that, you talked to them a little bit at your pro day. But, I can speak for Jake on this. We are big fans of you, and we're going to be fans of you no matter where you go, whether it's with the Rams or not, because we, really think you're going to have a successful career in the NFL and are excited to see what you do. But, in your own words, just to wrap it up, who is Tito Odenigbo as a person and who is he as a player?
Me as a person, there get a whole bunch of diversity. I'm pretty open-minded, and that kind of translates to my kind of player. I'll do, not dirty way, but I'll probably do anything possible to make the play, do anything possible to get better. And that goes kind of off the field. I like to diversify my settings, like to change things up a bit. I like to change up a toothpaste, just I like to try some things new. I feel like the more things to keep fresh, the more life becomes interesting. That's kind of how I like to play too.
That's awesome, man. Hey, we really appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun getting to know you a little bit. Really excited to see what you do at the next level. Let's stay in touch, man.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tito.
Have a great day.
And joining us on the podcast, we have San Jose State defensive lineman Boogie Roberts. How's it going, man? Thanks so much for coming on.
How you guys doing today? Thanks for having me on the show.
We're great, and of course, we're excited to talk to you. And just to start this off, we just want to hear a little bit about how you got into the game of football.
I started playing, I was like 5. I kind of started getting big and gaining weight. And then, like, at school, they make fun of you in school. So I'm like, man, I got to do something. So my mom signed me up for football. In my first year, like, I was so bad. Like, I hated it. I used to, like, cry and say I want to quit. My mom wouldn't let me quit. And I got the nickname, they called me Cream Puff because I was soft. Like, I would go in the back of the line, all the hitting drills and things like that. But then the next year, I just started taking it more serious in the game. I just started picking it up, and I ended up getting good, and I was playing defensive line, and that's how I kind of got the nickname, the Boogeyman, because they said when the quarterback came up to the line, his eyes got big, like you seen the Boogeyman. So it stuck with me this whole way.
That's awesome, man. And growing up, who was your favorite NFL player?
Growing up, I grew up a Bucs fan because in that time the Bucs were real good with that defense under John Gruden. So Warren Sapp, he's always been like a dude I looked up to, and I always watched his highlights and things like that.
Yeah, and when it came time for you to play in college, you end up picking San Jose State. What was the main factor for you in choosing them?
I'm from Los Angeles, California, so it was close to home. I was able to stay close to my family, and they'll be able to travel to the games and things like that. I had a couple more offers from Nevada and Boise State and things like that, but around that time, Boise State had a coaching change. The coaches ended up leaving. So I felt like San Jose was just the best choice for me and my family.
Yeah. I look at, what you were able to do in the Mountain West, and, I mean, it was really impressive. I mean, You had double the total quarterback pressures of the next closest interior defensive lineman in the conference. What did that mean to you?
I mean, it just shows that, like, I feel like in today's game, it's very pass-friendly. The NFL's changing. It's not more of a downhill running. Like, they like to air it out. So being able to get pressure from the inside, just showing my versatility, lining up over center, over guard, and still creating pressure, I feel like that's a big plus to my game. So, when that stat came out, I was very proud because this offseason I just worked on becoming more flexible and getting in better shape and stuff like that, and it paid off. Like, the sack numbers wasn't there that I wanted, but playing those in the 3-4, majority of the time you're getting double teamed. So to be able to put up those pressure numbers were very impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And, and speaking of impressive stats and things of that nature, you played defensive line, but you also played a little bit of running back in college. I mean, you're probably the first defensive lineman, either at San Jose State or nationally, to score a rushing touchdown and get credit for a safety in back-to-back games. What's that like?
Man, that's crazy. It's every fat kid's dream to run the ball just once. So, I just went to my OC's office, and I was begging them since spring just to give me one shot. And he was like, I'm going to give you one shot. And, the credit to the O-line, they did their job, and it just happened to be on homecoming, which made it better. All my friends and family was there, alumni, and things like that. And I actually scored on my one carry that I've ever had in my life. It was a touchdown, so I'll be able to take that to the grave with me. I'll tell that story to my kids and everything. And then the safety, man, it was just crazy. We were down 28 points, and we had a big rally in the third quarter, and it was 28-28, and that safety ended up making us go up 30-28. So it's just a good experience, and then that's a good stat. I didn't know about that stat, so that shows you guys did your research and things like that.
Well, you got it. I didn't want to talk to you blindly, like, oh, yeah, really interested in talking with you, but I don't know anything about you. So, So I want to obviously, follow that up by asking you what your favorite memory was, playing at San Jose State.
Yeah, that's up there. I mean, that touchdown run this year, my senior year, is up there. Top two. Also, a couple years ago, we were playing Utah, and one of my best friends was a starting quarterback. And since high school, he was a star quarterback, so he always wore his red jersey. You can't go near the red jersey. You can't touch him. Can't do anything. Like, if you touch the quarterback, you're getting in trouble. So I remember one time I accidentally bumped into him. I had to roll the whole practice, got chewed out by the coach. And I told him, I said, one day, I don't know how or where it's going to be, I'm going to sack you. And he ended up signing to Washington. And they weren't on our schedule. So looking ahead, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'll never play him. He ended up leaving there and going to Utah, and we had scheduled him. So I just knew that was a sign from God, like, oh, it's on. And then we played him that year, and I sacked him, and he'll never be able to forget that ever. Every time I see him, I bring it up. So those two right there is what I remember the most.
Yeah, that's funny, and a good story for sure. But, you played against a lot of tough competition during your college career, but is there one guy who stands out to you as being the toughest guy you went up against?
Well, it's kind of hard because, oh man. No, not really. I don't know, like, specifically, like, the individual names. I just, like, I know the San Diego State O-lines were tough. They were pretty good. That Utah O-line team that I talked about a couple years ago, 4 to 5 players got drafted or signed with the team, so they're pretty good. Trying to think. Yeah, those are the two that jump off to my mind if I have that I remember. But just no one individual. I kind of never wasn't just going against one person every play.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a hard question because, obviously the ones that come to guys' minds are, their conference, because these are the guys that you see, more
Yeah.
often than anybody. But then, anytime you're interviewing somebody and they're like, well, we didn't really play against, that many big time schools, but when we played against Alabama, pretty much everybody stood out. It's, that's always funny. But I do want to ask you, because you did participate in the 2019 Tropical Bowl. What was that experience like, and kind of how do you feel you performed in front of scouts and fans alike?
It was a great experience, being off in football a month, just getting a look back on the season and things like that. I was just able to just work on things to improve my game, and being in front of every NFL team there and great players, it was just a great opportunity for me to showcase my ability on a bigger stage, just in case I was overlooked in the Mountain West Conference. And when I went there, I think I performed very well, did great on my one-on-ones, and showed I was versatile and stopped and run and getting pressure on the quarterback. So I feel it was a great experience.
Yeah, and what would you consider your biggest strength as a player to be?
I would say I'm explosive and I have a good football IQ, a very high football IQ. So I would say those are my two biggest strengths.
Yeah, that's certainly important, and not that's not something that everyone has. Just because you play football doesn't mean you have a football IQ. So,
yeah. You got to be smart.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a good one to have. And, kind of just bouncing off that, where, in your game is an area that you're looking to improve on heading into the NFL draft?
In terms of that question, I would say every aspect. There's not one area. I want to be the best in every area of my game that's possible. So everything needs to go up a notch. When you go to the NFL, everybody was all conference. Everybody was all league and things like that. So faster, stronger, bigger. The game is going to be moving even more faster. So I have to get in the film room more and things like that. So just as an overall player, in every aspect of my game, I'll have to improve to compete at the next level.
Yeah, and this next question is just a fun question we like to ask defensive guys who come on the show. But who is one quarterback that you'd like to sack in the NFL? Or who do you want to sack the most?
Oh, man. No, I'm going to stall Tom Brady out because he's getting old, so I don't want to hurt him. I want him to finish his career. Let me see. No, I like to sack Cam Newton. That'd be a good one. He always smiling, so just me sacking him and seeing that smile go away, that would really make my day. Yeah, Cam Newton for sure.
So you'd fit right in with the Denver Broncos. I think they were totally trying to take his head off. Anytime they play him, it's pretty noticeable. But no, that's a good one.
What's usually the typical answer people say?
Tom Brady, always.
Tom Brady. Yeah, I'm gonna stall him out.
Yeah, we've gotten like Lamar Jackson and I guess as time has gone on, it went from like Brady every time to Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, I think Deshaun Watson. So I don't know. It's getting to be a little bit different, but yeah, it's pretty much always been Tom Brady though.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm glad I switched it up. That's a new one you could throw in there.
Yeah, no, we haven't heard Cam Newton yet, surprisingly. But so I want to ask you, Boogie, heading into this show, of course, we're a Los Angeles Rams-based podcast. So just have to ask if you've met or spoken with the Los Angeles Rams throughout this draft process.
No, I haven't really talked to the Rams besides the follow-up at the Tropical Bowl, like the questionnaire and things like that. I haven't really spoke to them at all. That'd be a dream come true being from LA, the hometown. But we'll see what God has in the works in about 9 days. So,
yeah.
Rams, I haven't.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, it would be cool to be able to play for a hometown team. And Jake and I are fans of you, so we would love to see you play for the Rams. But no matter where you go, we're going to be fans of you because we just think you're awesome. And, we're really big fans of you before talking to you, even more so afterwards. We think you're the coolest. So, we're excited to see what's in store for you for sure. But
Thank you so much.
Of course. And just to wrap it up, in your own words, who is Boogie Roberts as a person and who is he as a player?
As a person, I'm a guy that just everybody gravitates to, a likable guy. A guy that everybody likes. I'm funny. I can get along with any crowd. And I know how to carry myself and things like that. As a player, again, a guy that's smart, athletic, and that just loves the game of football. Like, football is my life. And I don't know what I would do without football, so I go hard every day so that I never, lose the ability to play this game because it means so much to me. That's pretty much it.
Well, that's pretty awesome, man. I'm glad we were able to get you on the show. We know it's getting down to the wire here, so we appreciate you trying to, do your best to fit us in that busy schedule of yours. And hey.
Oh no, man, I'm always available. Whenever y'all want me on the show, I'm on the show.
My man.
Yeah.
But
I might come be a co-host of the podcast one day. You never know. So.
Hey, anytime.
It's all love on this end, man.
Well,
you guys work. You guys just keep grinding and keep getting out these great stories and interviews, and everything will pick up.
Well, we really appreciate that. We have so much fun doing this. I don't want to make this a whole story or anything, but I'm lucky to have her because Alexis and I are fairly new working with each other. I've been doing this interview thing since, I want to say, 2017. Interviewed 8 guys, and I could, tell you each individual one. One of them ended up being Pro Bowl tight end George Kittle.
I was just before you guys called. I had just seen that tweet about now the numbers to over 100.
Oh yeah,
I'm like, wow, you're just grinding. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, we just have a blast doing it, man. And we if you saw the tweet, we believe that everyone has a story that needs to be told. Does not matter what school you're from. And there's talent everywhere. Competition is competition, as our guy Colin Saunders says. So, that's really how we've looked at it. We've had a blast interviewing everyone, and especially interviewing yourself because you're so real, down to earth, and we appreciate your full thought out, honest answers. Really do. 100% going to be rooting for you no matter what team you're playing for.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all, and I just want you get out what you put in. So you see how you started with 8. Now you're at 100. Next year you'll be at 200. And I just wish the best for y'all, and I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Boogie. That means a lot.
All right, we'll be in touch.